Yeah, thank you, Ikechi. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon. I'm somewhere deep inside Edo State at the foot of Kukurugu Hills, and I'm in the middle of the traditional ceremony. So you can see
Yeah,
that
yeah, okay.
yeah, let me quickly, I joined the session in the middle of Mr. Chike Ogia's presentation. I want to appreciate and respect his insights and very forthcoming level of honesty in putting it out there. Two things he said that resonate with me. We don't know how Dirty December started from a hospitality facility point of view. That is very correct. From other perspectives, every other point of view that you consider, will be lying to ourselves if we say somebody sat down and figured out how this was going to be. And he also said something. Sometimes our plan is in our planlessness. As much as that is not flattering, I dare say that there's some sense in that. However, the challenge in that is that it's not sustainable if we keep buying into that philosophy. So, entertainment and Dirty December. Agreeing that we don't know how it started, and I maintain it was an accident of circumstance, but it has to be strategic, systemic, and be aggressive in making plans for it to have a life of its own or to be sustainable. In Dirty December, for example, people say there's a lot of fun. But the question we're not asking, what is responsible for this fun? We might not know how it started, but we know conditions that definitely contributed, in my opinion, to the emergence of Dirty December. So the question is, if I go to the conditions I have identified, when these conditions change, will it mean the end of Dirty December? That is where the challenge lies. Security is the main challenge. People don't want to venture out of Lagos or out of city centers or airport dropping cities to go far into the hinterland. So they gather in the cities. They even bring their relatives from the villages. It's cheaper for them to bring their family into the cities, put them in shortlets or put them in hotels instead of them going to the village. If security improves, with this condition that help Dirty December bottom out if security improves? Is a question that we all have to um, address. Number two, because of insecurity and people are staying back in Lagos, naturally, all the outlets that you have, all the assets for entertainment that we have now become overstretched. And like we all know, is centered in the nexus of VI and its extension. And of course, because people also want proximity to the airport, in and out, a couple of mainland facilities have also naturally benefited, especially people looking for high-end facilities like the Sheratons, the Chicken's organization, and all of that. So, having taken this into consideration, our question will be, how do we sustain Dirty December? Entertainment will always be a part of it because nobody wants to come and then sit in your room all day. However, because there's an over demand, over, how do I say, surplus demand for limited outlets for people to go to, prices are also beginning to skyrocket artificially. Artists are charging, I don't want to say unreasonable, but they are charging like premium, premium, premium. And then the question is, how do you break even? You also have to now move the ticket prices up. Entertainment venues, because they are oversubscribed, are changing their rates astronomically. And anybody that's in Dirty December to make profit must also charge accordingly. And then this is where the risk lies, and why people are saying we need to decentralize Dirty December to go to other places. As much as that is desirable, the question remains the factors that made Dirty December happen, key amongst which is security. If security does not improve, there's no way we can reasonably expect to decentralize Dirty December. However, we can grow Dirty December to become a phenomenon not just relying on diaspora inflow, but to see how you can mop local resources, intra-country tourism, to see how local environments outside of Abuja and Lagos and environs of Lagos can also key into this. People leave Lagos to go to the east in their droves. When they get there, is there a new experience that can come up? Traditional festivals are cultural signposts for Dirty December activities, not just discos and lounges and live bands as we have in the cities. In that way, opportunities begin to spread to people outside. Another thing that has also helped Dirty December, unfortunately, is a bad index for us as a country, is the weakness of the naira. So people now understand it's winter. Why hang out in London and burn money on gas and or travel to some other cold places that you can hardly get something outdoor to do? So they head back into the country, and this is supported by the fact that with minimum dollars or pound sterling, you have a truckload of naira to use. So it's also cheaper for people to come into Nigeria to spend their low season. What would have been their low season out there in Europe or in America or in Asia, to come to Nigeria and spend much more money and have much more fun than they can get. So that's why I said the two key reasons that I see that has helped Dirty December is insecurity and the poor performance of Naira in the international market. Now, coming to entertainment, can it be sustained? Every year, an artist that took 50 million is asking for 100 million. People's earning power, apart from diaspora inflow, is not increasing in the same dimension. And last December, I was very curious and I set up certain parameters to monitor what was happening in the country. Um, Apart from hotels that still maintain some level of high patronage, entertainment events, concerts, and gatherings that people normally will go out to suffered. Most people made losses. I'm still waiting for KPMG or most of the uh, companies that mine data and give us statistics to come up with a report. I think at this time last year, there was already a report that was looking very robust. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen one this year. I don't know the difficulty in getting this year's results out, but I'm very sure that the numbers are not going to be looking as fantastic as they were last year if data is mined and analyzed correctly, because everything just seemed to get out of proportion and many people really couldn't be a part of it, especially people who are locally based in Nigeria, because um, prices were just out of their reach. So question would be, how do we go about this? Decentralizing events away from Lagos Island and Ikoyi and maybe, yeah, say Lekki will be very critical when we are deliberate about encouraging promoters, event owners, um, hospitality facility owners to put up events or encourage people that want to put up events so that costs are more manageable when the attraction is spread out. Go to Festa, go to Badagry, go to Ekpe, go to up to Abeokuta and other places within range safely. That would be one of the ways by which 30 December can be sustained. Because people also want to see Abeokuta, they want to see Donre. As much as we know there's a security challenge, this is where government needs to come in to say, if not for all year round, have this security plan in place that can encourage people that the level of safety, at least areas within those proximities, um, can have a little bit a better feeling of safety that people can venture out. Even Ibadan is a place that people can go to. I know last year people came into Nigeria for 30 December and they all ended up in Benin Republic because, again, comparatively, people were ending up in beach houses. These are exclusive places. This December, as much as it's an accident, we can benefit from it on a larger scale rather than having people planning not to come next December because they had a slightly less than desired experience this year. So, yes, it was an accident. We cannot afford to keep it as an accident. There has to be a little bit more of planning. We have to listen to tour operators who listen to the heartbeats of tourists, and then they feel the pulse of the business better than individual business owners. If we do not take all of this into consideration, I foresee a time, maybe this year, when 30 December will bottom out, and then we will all be wondering what happened. That it was an accident doesn't mean we should keep it as an accident. We can put strategy behind it, and everybody has to understand that it's not just to sit down and want to receive, but we can put some effort into encouraging that ecosystem to grow. It takes consultation. It takes it takes strategic meetings, it takes rubbing of mind and comparing of notes to see where some of these adjustments can be made so that um, a lot of these benefits can be retained or expanded. Another thing I see that will change the scope for Lagos this year, because we talked this December, we're essentially talking about Lagos. Another thing I see that can change the scope, we have airlines at sub-regional levels that are springing up. States are setting up airlines. There's Enugu Air. Calabar route is becoming a bit more vibrant. Warri is picking up. I foresee a situation that if the airlines are strategic and they can reach some kind of consensus with hospitality and tourism operators in these towns where you can drop into with minimal risk of security challenges, I see Lagos losing a chunk of this benefit that is referred to as 30 December. In one of my submissions to a private research that we did, I did say the 2016 experiment that One Lagos was decentralized under Foley Coca. I'm happy to say that I was a principal consultant in that move that decentralized, because I've preached that for a long time, that decentralized One Lagos from one venue to multi-venue because it was becoming overcrowded and the security risks were getting too high. And that worked. However, 30 December, last time I heard there was a presidential committee on 30 December, which I found very laughable because they didn't get off the ground. What we want to tell government, since you're putting a report together, government should not get in the business of competing or like they are stakeholders or business people struggling for space in doing 30 December activities. They should create an enabling environment. Let people have good experiences when they get to the airport. Lagos State last year, I monitored them. They did a good work whereby they had some neighborhood intervention to ease traffic flow at night and stuff. We want to see more of that. If they create an enabling environment, they don't even need to physically do shows, but concentrate on doing the needful, that people who are doing shows can have a better experience and maybe more profitable engagements in what they do. I commend them for their effort last year to ease traffic, to bring some value, but that is still too small. They need to do more to make the work of people who are taking money in creating experiences be worthwhile. Maybe I want to stop here for now so I don't keep others waiting.